most of us, we like to imagine that our own socio-political community is totally rational and justified all of the beliefs that we have, and the opposing community is totally irrational. I try to always realize that my own socio-political leanings, wherever they may be, completely bias me, and that I'm definitely should treat those in the other communities having justifications. They may not be great justifications, but they truly believe them, and trying to usually presume that both sides are symmetrical in the kinds of biases that they're susceptible to. But of course, it need not actually be symmetrical at any given time. And when you start thinking through the fact that there was a socio-political community that believed that locking everybody down was justified, getting them all fired from their jobs was justified, deciding who could work and who couldn't was justified, that it was okay to shut down millions of businesses, that mask mandates were required, closing down schools was a good idea, coerced medication, putting biological males into women's sports, transitioning minors to the opposite sex. All right, whenever it's hot outside, it justifies massive economic regulation and interventions in those regards. These are so glaringly irrational. The behavior of all of these things, these quick reactions, the mobs rushing through and having new kind of membership signals where they say, yes, we must do all these things. It justifies our ingenious schemes for this one and for another one and for another one and for another one, right? It just keeps happening. Now, you have to wonder whether there could be a tendency for these things to accelerate. So not only are there just potentially likely to be asymmetries just because of even if they're independent of one another, but once a community has a membership signal that is often irrational and it becomes a kind of a virtue signal to sometimes a virtue position, a position that people state that is itself irrational, well, now within the narrative is a kind of falsity. It's either false or it's potentially even a contradiction. In logic, if you assume any contradiction, then all possible sentences, including all the false ones, follow. Everything follows, right? So you can't distinguish truth from fiction any longer once you've assumed or come to believe false things. So if a community comes to have as some key parts of of its very identity, things that are false, positions that are false, well, that potentially makes coming up with new false things even more likely. It's harder to find the truth. And that's a positive feedback.